going live now. So the moment we are live, I will.
Excuse me, what is the sequence?
First, Deena ji, Vaishali ji, Uma ji, and then last Poonam.
Okay.
And do we keep ourselves mute now?
You can. Hello, everyone. We are live now on the session of the Strength Series by Karma Foundation and Lassi Talk. And we are live on the page of Karma Foundation and also on Lassi Talk. And thank you, everyone. Within 2 minutes, we will be starting the sessions. Deena ji, Vaishali ji, Uma ji, and lovely. So now here I have very wonderful people who are working in this field for such a long time, wherein I feel that they have given not only, they are going to share not only about their experience, but their wisdom with us today. And when I shared with people about this topic called down but not out, there was a lot of curiosity generated ki iska matlab kya hai, down but not out. And then I got some good feedbacks from the friends saying, Gitika, this is such a wonderful thing which have not been discussed so openly with all of us. And people were trying to find out more about Down syndrome. So we are going to talk about the chromosomal, the genetic, you can say the condition which are responsible for Down syndrome. And before I start the Strength Series 2, Down But Not Out, and before I thank my speakers, I would like to thank some of my friends who have been our supporting partners and who immediately when we mentioned that this is one of the topic which needs good outreach, and I connected with the people and immediately I got their reply. So I'm thankful to Elixir Foundation, where I'm this Manish Kumar Manish and Madish Parikh, Asmita, Rotary Club of Asmita, Varsha Prajapati, the president, First Moms Clubs, Kaveri. Thank you, Poonam, for connecting with First Moms Club. We Empower, Asha Desai, Gitika Saluja, Ho Homes, Bhushan Saluja, Ami Jain, Womenology, Soumya Chaturvedi, and Biting Bowl, Satyen Gadvi, and Tuli Banerjee. And I'm thankful to Vivek of Karma Foundation to coordinate such a wonderful conversation, and Priyanshi Patel and Chiranjeev Patel, the founder of Karma Foundation, along with Gitika Saluja, today the founder of Lassi Talk, that is Learn, Act, Share, Inspire. And I am today for this talk is grateful to Poonam Kaushik, who is a managing trustee of We Shall Win Foundation. And in conversation with Poonam, I realized that this is one of the topics which needs to be discussed in the Strength Series, because I see the people with Down syndrome as very strong individuals. And this Strength Series talk does not just talk about the physical strength, but the real source behind the physical strength is the mental strength, emotional strength, and how we cope up with strength. So that's where the series is Strength Series, and that is why we are talking about Down syndrome. And here, I would like to thank Vaishali Hyderabadi with us, who is a doctor of human cytogenetics and convener of Down Syndrome Welfare Club, and Dr. Neena Vaidya, consultant pediatrician, child psychologist, and convener of Down Syndrome Welfare Club, and Mrs. Uma Lad, who is a banking professional, now a homemaker, and very nicely she likes to be quoted as proud mother of Om Lad, who is blessed with Down syndrome. And thank you for to be joining at the time, and I'm sure this is going to be one of the meticulous sessions where we're going to discuss about a Down syndrome, where it is about having one extra chromosome. So I was going through one of a wonderful page, and I realized that it is not about only extra chromosome. It is about we are missing one chromosome, and the kids and the adults with Down syndrome has that one extra chromosome. So that when there are one extra chromosome, in simple word, or in for us it is an extra chromosome, but this is referred as trisomy. So that extra chromosome is in 21st. I'll be quickly showing to you that extra chromosome is in 21st chromosome, which should have 2 pairs. We all have 2 pairs of chromosome in each and every cell, but on 21st pair, in the case of Down syndrome, they have 1 extra chromosome. That is why it is called trisomy, 3 in 1 pair. So that's trisomy 21 is also called Down syndrome. So you can see that these kids or the adults with the Down syndrome, these are the people who have a very typical, we can recognize them with their very particular smile. You know, though their smile is so contagious. That is why I would like to mention that I am down, but it doesn't mean I am actually down emotionally. I am there to help people who are feeling down, and my smile is contagious, and I'm down, but right beautiful. So that's how we are all talking about Down syndrome today. And before we do that, I would like to share with you about one foundation and one club. The Vishal Win Foundation is set up for achieving social goals and working very closely with kids with Down syndrome and other intellectual disabilities. See, it's very important to use the right terminology today, because it's very important. And when these are very sensitive topics, and when we are dealing with people, you know, the terminology is actually important. You cannot see, when we are talking about mentally retarded, I was very nicely, and that's always said, instead of mentally retarded, please correct me, Ninaji, it's more important about talking about intellectual disabilities, because it doesn't mean they don't have capabilities, but it's more the right terminology is important to use. And development delays like autism, cerebral palsy, and mental retardedness, the intention is to reach out to the children from economically weaker section, create awareness, and among the parents, set up parent support group providing medical counseling, identity centers in the nearby talukas and district, reach out to the children with best speech therapies, vocational as well as occupational therapies. In the case of Down syndrome, what I understand is that the early intervention is very important, especially when it comes to speech therapy, vocational as well as occupational therapy, so that we develop the best potential and they live a very good life. Last but not the least, Vishal Win Foundation works towards changing the societal approach and increasing acceptability of these children. These children are adults of tomorrow. And I believe that no community is a complete community till each and every individual is a part of that community. So keeping that in mind, we have with us Vaishali Hyderabadi ji also, who, as we said, and Naina Nina Vaidya, who had founded this wonderful club called Down Syndrome Welfare Club, and it is very closely called as DSWC. So DSWC strives to enhance the quality of life and integrate the people with Down syndrome in the community at large. We aim to empower the children with DS, that is Down syndrome, and their families, and sensitize the society about the possibilities and challenges faced by these children. The vision of DSWC is to promote public awareness and empower families to provide enriching environment to children and adults with Down syndrome so that they can thrive, reach full potential, and lead fulfilling and independent lives. DSWC has a strong team of pediatricians, geneticists, and psychologists who are associated with the community for over 20 years. So today in Strength Series, we have a mixed combination of an NGO, a parent, a very strong parent, a doctor, and a community, welfare community developer as well, I can call as to Dr. Vaishali Hyderabadi. So before we move in, I would like to share that Dr. Nina will be talking about how, for the new parents, how they can cope with preparing with DS. And my first question to Dr. Nina is, Dr. Nina, what would you advise to new parents when they come to you?
First of all, thanks, Geetika, and thanks to Karma Foundation for having all of us here. Answer to this question would be in 4 parts. So first of all, when new parents, when they approach me, as a good human being, I will congratulate them. Because the very important part of parenthood, celebrating the birth of a child, is suddenly gets deleted. It gets deleted suddenly, and it's very difficult for parents to listen that the newborn baby is not normal. So first of all, I will congratulate them, because nothing should still this celebration of having a new life. Every life is equal and important. So first thing I will do is congratulating the parents. Secondly, as a pediatrician, I give them the medical checklist to be followed, and that includes cardiac screening, heart. They have some congenital heart. Many of them are born with some congenital heart defects. So cardiac screening immediately within few weeks of birth, and then later on, if found defective, then every year thereafter, as per the advice of the treating doctor. Then thyroid screening, then karyotyping, of course, the chromosomal study, which you mentioned right now. Then ear and eye checkup within first 6 months of life, and thereafter every year. Hemoglobin, total blood count, and vitamin D3 once every year. So this is the medical checklist. And if the baby is baby boy, then we check for the testes, whether it is well descended or not. That is also an important part of medical checkup. Third comes my role as a counselor. So as a counselor, I explain them the early intervention, because though I am a pediatrician, when my daughter was born before 28 years with Down syndrome, I was very frustrated listening to the terminologies OT, PT, SI. And though I was a doctor, I was getting frustrated. So think of those who are not connected with medical fraternity or anything that is related with medicine. So I explain them what exactly early intervention is all about. It's very simple. It's very simple. And I want all the listeners, viewers here also to understand these, because you can then transfer it. You can then spread the word to others. That OT means occupational therapy, and we, all of us, we do it 24/7. It's using your smaller muscles. It's using your smaller muscles. So while kneading, while opening the door, while turning the page, while buttoning, while tying the lace, whatever we do is occupational therapy. It's very simple. Exercises of smaller muscles is occupational therapy. Physiotherapy, similarly, exercises of bigger, longer muscles is for physiotherapy. Physiotherapy is aimed at achieving motor milestones like sitting, crawling, standing, walking, running, jumping, etc. So it's again is very simple. Then comes SI. This word still frustrates and still confuse parents like anything. That what is sensory integration? What is sensory integration? Sensory integration is using your senses consciously. So we never, see, we are connected. Right now we are connected through what? Through one or more senses. So we learn everything through our senses. We get connected with our senses. So using it consciously is sensory integration. So exposing the child to various colors, various frequencies, sound, different tastes, different smells, and most importantly, touch. So this is what is a sensory integration. Then comes speech therapy. I tell all the parents who approach me the strength of children with Down syndrome with the limitations. So the strengths are, they are copycats, they are visual learners, their minds can be programmed very nicely, they have high EQ, emotional quotient, and high SQ. And at the same time, the limitation, the major limitation is their muscle tone and power are very low. So speech therapy, why they need speech therapy? As all the muscles, they have low tone and power, the oral muscles are also has low tone. So speech therapy majorly involves exercises of blowing, sucking, leaking, and chewing. So that is what the speech therapy is all about. So in simple terms, OT, PT, SI, and ST can be done at home if parents understand it properly, and they can do it at home even if they don't get a good therapist. So this is, and lastly, as a parent. So I told you, as a good human being, as a pediatrician, as a counselor, now as a parent, I would like to tell, and it reminds me of one dialogue of Kung Fu Panda, that no special ingredient. It's just the belief. So you just need to believe in your child. So this is what I do when new parents come to me. You are mute. Gitika, you are mute.
Thank you so much, Neena ji. I'm sure the moment the parents approach you, they are already relaxed after just looking at you and after just interacting, when they actually get their congratulations, because I'm sure God also chooses people who have that strength to take care of the blessings. They don't give blessings to each and every one, and they're not random in blessing people. And that is what I sometimes discuss with one of my friend as well, when I was sharing about it is blessing in disguise. We have been chosen to take care of such wonderful souls. So there is another question is, why an inclusive approach? I'm sure because as I started this session saying that each community is as good a community as dependent on, I mean, it should ensure that each and every member is a part of that community. You know, it has to be an inclusive society. The city is not for me. Tomorrow, if I become senior citizen, if I'm not able to use a city well, I can, it is still mine. I have to use the city. So the city has to be used by each and every person. So it is very important to have an inclusive approach. And why it is important in your views, we would like to hear your views. And how can we spread general awareness about the same? Because still, I tell you, when we shared about this session, there were many who were not aware of Down syndrome. The moment they got to know about it, they Googled and got to know, and then they got to know about the congenital, heart disease, and then they shared with me that, Gitika, I'm not a science student, but am I right? What I read is correct. Because 41% of the students, of the kids actually die because of this kind of heart disease as they grow. So that was a little concern which immediately was raised with by some of my friends, and they wanted to assure and ask me that are they correct in their Googling? So why an inclusive approach is important, and how can we spread general awareness about the same, Neena ji?
Yeah, Gitika, you rightly said about the city. Same thing I would like to repeat in a different way. It takes a village to raise a child.
Mm-hmm.
So I read it somewhere recently. So, and we are doing the same right now. Whatever we are doing, we are going to spread awareness, and you have already done, I think, to some extent by keeping this topic, by sharing with your friends, by sharing in your social media. We have already started spreading awareness. See, we the typical people, our learning is inside out. If I tell you something, you are not going to believe it, and you are not going to start implementing the same. So what we do from environment, we gather information, we process inside, then we evaluate, we decide what to keep and what not to keep, and then we express or reveal. But it's different with persons with Down syndrome. Their learning is outside in. As I said earlier, they are copycats. They are keen observants. They are visual learners. So when they see something, it gets imprinted in their mind. Their minds are programmable. So right programming is needed. Right programming is needed because they see and they immediately start doing it. They immediately copy. There is no processing inside. So unless they see good, what they will copy. And that's why we need society to be there. That's why we need inclusive society, because unless we provide something good to copy, then and then they will be able to copy the good. If we are not going to provide good, whom will they copy? So how to go? You asked me how to go about it. How we can do that. So parents, moms, whosoever are listening right now, you can do that. How? By understanding Down syndrome, by spreading it to somebody else, by spreading the awareness, by posting on your social media. See, nowadays it has become so fast and simple and easy to do that. Then by welcoming newborn babies with Down syndrome, you go reach out to the parents, give them some good basket full of gift and some happiness and some smiles to them. So welcome newborn babies. Welcome a child with Down syndrome as your child's classmate, because this is where they struggle. Parents, they struggle because the parents of typical children, they oppose. So teach your children to be accepting, kind, and helping. Encourage your children to become buddy of one child having Down syndrome. Invite them in birthday parties of your children. This is where again parents struggle, because children with Down syndrome, they are not invited frequently. They are invited on the contrary seldom. Then by this I did, and I was very much successful by arranging, having inclusive play, inclusive camps, inclusive picnics. You celebrate festivals with them, have inclusive festivals, then have flash mobs, have inclusive dance class, hobby classes, art sessions, cyclathon, marathon. Include them in each and every activity that you are doing as a family and or your children are participating, right? Include the parents of special need, especially Down syndrome, in your group, because parents also need somebody typical to talk with. So include them in your group by supporting the parents in their struggle and involving teens and young adults having Down syndrome in volunteering some events, some functions, because they are very meticulous and they will definitely reduce your clerical work. So this is what I feel should happen in society, and they are educable and highly trainable. We just need to remove the bar from inside and outside.
There is just one question at my end, Neena ji. How good they are with their social skill, how good they are with their social skills. Since when we are talking about inclusive approach, and since we are talking about mingling and all, and I'm sure because I have seen and I have experience with certain teenagers also, you know, and I really found them, as I mentioned in the beginning itself, their smile is very contagious. Yeah. So just so that every parent get to know, or all our listeners who are listening now and later on also will get to know how good the children with Down syndrome are social in nature, with their social skills.
Yes, if we talk about their strengths, as I told you before also, compared to typical population, their social quotient and emotional quotient both are comparatively higher than typical of the same age. So they are very good socially. They remember people. They love to talk with them. They are good caretakers. They are very good caretakers. If you talk with a child or teen or young adult with Down syndrome, Geetika, and if you have mentioned just once that I love bhaji pav, whenever the child will come across a bhaji pav wala, he or she will remember you. If he or she is having your phone number, invariably he or she will call you. So they are very good socially.
That's nice, because that's very important when it comes to social skills. Hello.
Yeah.
So that's very, because when it comes, because I have a very wonderful experience of them being social. And what I realize is the best gift that you can give to any special need or special child is your friendship.
Yes.
And to include them in play with them and believe in them. So it's more about, it's just about just not having a proper understanding and awareness. And it is not about just being different, because each and every one of us are different, I understand. And it's just that we have to accept certain different our physical outlook, or some different activities, or some different kind of attitude or among the people. And once we accept that, and that is what is required in a very formative age, and I'm sure the parents of the young children have a major role to play in. Today I was going through your
Your connection is not working.
in saying that we teach so many.
Geetika, you are not audible.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Sorry. So that was one of the wonderful posts today I read on Down Syndrome Welfare Club page. So my next question is to Dr. Vaishali ji, who is the founder of the Down Syndrome Welfare Club, and along with Dr. Neena ji, who is doing wonderful work on the page itself. If you happen to see the page, you get to know so many things about the life of Down syndrome, and that is what I am giving as a tagline, that life of Down syndrome, understand. So Dr. Vaishali Hyderabadi ji, how did you conceive this Down Syndrome Welfare Club? Before you start saying, I will just like quickly share your club Facebook page, so that people can get to know what I'm talking about. Just a minute. Okay, I might take some time. Can you see this?
Yes.
Can you see this Down Syndrome Welfare Club page? All right, I will just, meanwhile, I'll do the needful. Vaishali ji, how did you conceive this Down syndrome? How did you conceive this Down Syndrome Welfare Club, and what advantages parents are receiving from this platform?
Looking back at how Down Syndrome Welfare Club was conceived, I realized that everything that happened in my life, starting from my education, culminated in forming this parent support group, which we call Down Syndrome Welfare Club, or DSWC now. Now, the journey was largely an internal process of soul searching. As a research student in cytogenetics in the early 1990s, I met and interacted with a lot of families having a child with Down syndrome. One of my duties was cytogenetically confirming the diagnosis of Down syndrome with karyotyping. Surprisingly, I found that the parents hardly had any idea about Down syndrome when they came for karyotyping, which is just a diagnostic test. Many even thought the test was a part of the treatment. Now, also the average age of the children who came was 3 to 4 years, and at times the children would be as old as 7 or 8 years. So obviously the lacuna in awareness was evident. And I also fell in love with every child I met. Every child I pricked for my study, I hope to pay back someday in some way. At this stage, I remember one thing: children with Down syndrome, they have a little higher pain
Threshold.
Yeah. So when we would prick the child, they would very bravely, take their prick. But if you had to prick the mother in front of the child, it would lead them to tears. They're so compassionate. They're so loving. So, these little things and the way they cuddle up with you, it's like amazing to know them. I decided to go and find out where all the children were vanishing. You don't see children in society. At least back then, we couldn't see many children in society. And I was just wondering why we didn't meet children with Down syndrome out there. So I just decided to find out. Now, my best bet seemed to be the most proactive granddad of a little girl, Palak, who had been karyotyped in our department. And that's when I first met one of my mentors, Shri B.K. Pandya, who happens to be Dr. Neena Ben's father. And I had 100 questions to ask. He patiently answered all my questions, briefed me about a lot of things, including therapies. He guided me to all the major institutes working in the field of intellectual disability in Ahmedabad and connected me to several amazing and dedicated persons in this field. So it was just amazing to start my journey from there. The next 1 decade was spent gathering several experiences, some very important life lessons, and maturing my thoughts on this. At the end of it, having given up my job, sorted out some of my personal commitments, I was now ready to take the next step with the most important commodity, time, in hand. I strongly felt the urge to focus on Down syndrome alone to get measurable results. Before that, I had been working with all intellectual disabilities, but I felt the need to now focus only on Down syndrome so that I could get tangible results. So it was back then in 2013, along with my friends, colleagues, and students from the Department of Zoology and Human Genetics at Gujarat University, we celebrated the World Down Syndrome Day in Ahmedabad for the first time on the 21st of March, 2013. That was the first step when I actually started working in this field to make what is now known as the Down Syndrome Welfare Club. Dr. Neena Vaidya joined the event as a parent then and ended up guiding 50 families that had gathered to celebrate then. The event was a grand success in terms of spreading awareness both among parents and in society. This exposure, the fun, the interaction with kids and youngsters with Down syndrome helped sensitize the students who volunteered. Many of them have remained closely connected to all our activities for several years after that. From then on, things just happened. And there was no looking back. Down Syndrome Welfare Club has celebrated the World Down Syndrome Day each year since 2013 on the 21st of March. Some of the most amazing persons joined the team of DSWC, and that included Dr. Krati Shah, who is a clinical geneticist in Baroda, Meenal Parekh, a friend of ours, Iti Shukla, the clinical psychologist in Ahmedabad, Neha, our physiotherapist, to name a few, who unconditionally contributed to the cause at all times. DSWC has the unconditional support of the Down Syndrome Federation of India, which is headed by Dr. Rekha Ramchandran. Now our families are connected to hundreds of others from all over the country. Now the central idea of our work is the well-being of persons with Down syndrome, for which we also focus on giving mental and emotional support to families, especially the mothers. The children with Down syndrome are so sensitive. They are connected to the emotional upheavals and the moods of everybody around. They are extremely sensitive and get affected very easily. So it is so important to keep the mothers balanced. And in that, I think our club has been providing the support that the mothers need. And as members of society, each one of us can make a significant impact on the lives of these families by providing the much needed social support and acceptance. Now, if we go to see the benefits that our club is providing to the parents, I think new parents need hope. They are actually lost when we meet them. They have 100 questions. They have no idea what is Down syndrome. They have never heard the name. They are like any one of us from the society. And no professional has the time or the energy to address these issues. So at this stage, connecting to parents, connecting to other parents, talking to people who have gone through the same thing before them really makes a huge difference. And it helps the new parents in their journey of acceptance and starting a new life with a new baby and understanding what needs to be done and what to expect in future. Down Syndrome Welfare Club also provides a community where parents can fall back in time of need. We celebrate the achievements of the children as well as the challenges are addressed together as a family, which is also again very important, as sometimes parents are distant socially from their surrounding. So I think it's a very important role that our club plays. Besides that, of course, we give them guidance regarding all types of issues, right from guidance about early intervention to vocational training, vocational setup, life skills, and so on. We also provide the friendships that they need, bonding between the children and bonding between the parents. We encourage parents in the same locality to connect with each other and have little picnics together or celebrate days together, which is a very important aspect of anyone's life. So I think that's all that I have to say about it.
Thank you so much, Vaishali ji. I mean, I'm sure that the kind of efforts that you have invested in really reaches to the right kind of people, because as far as I understand, and very nicely Tapaswini Kachar has mentioned, even in our Facebook comment section, she is also a special educator, I believe. And schools can take initiative of spreading awareness to students and their parents. She says that yes, parents of specially able needs inclusiveness too, and I think you're doing a wonderful job through DSWC. And to balance the society, we need to go for inclusiveness. And thank you. And Amit Ambasta has also appreciated the initiative by Vishal.
Kitika, we have lost your voice. Lost connection, Gitika's connection. Can we start with Uma ma'am? Yes, I think Gitika is back.
I think I'm again back with you. Yeah,
yes.
I'm back with you. Okay. I believe when it comes to the strength of the child, it comes from the parent, from the mother, yes, especially. And the child is as strong as their parent, and the mother is as strong as, and she is the pillar of the strength for the child. Whatever the age group of the child is, still I also believe, my father always feels कि भाई मुझे मेरे से बात करने के लिए तो गीतिका फोन नहीं करती है, मम्मी से बात करने के लिए फोन करती है. So it's always we reach out to the mother. And today we have the mother of wonderful handsome boy Om Lad, and this is Uma Lad. She's there with us. We'll be discussing especially coping with special parenthood. And as we mentioned that only few are blessed to take care of such wonderful souls. So I would be inviting Uma Lad ji. Uma Lad ji, my question to you is, how was your journey with your son? Or to be more precise, how is your journey with your son? And can you share your experience with him? So I'm sure we're going to have a lot of things to be discussed, and the kind of bonding you share with Om. And he's such a, I saw the picture of Om, he's such a wonderful child. So would like to know more about your synergy as a mother and a son with Down syndrome. How is your experience so far? And what a wonderful journey. Please share it with us.
Thank you, Gitika. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. As introduced, I'm a mother to a son blessed with Down syndrome. Of late, this term, blessed with Down syndrome, is heard often. But way back when my son was born, the term Down syndrome itself wasn't so prevalent. It was, I hadn't heard about it then. It was really shocking for us to have a child with Down syndrome.
Umaji, I will just pause here. I'll ask you to pause here. One question I have in mind: how old is Om? So that we get to know when you're talking about Om, we'll get to know how old he is, and we'll be able to relate it with your journey and the years. Because I'm sure this is a very different society today and then.
Yeah, truly.
Yes.
He was 1990, so he's 30 years of age now.
Great. So he's an adult now.
Yeah. So way back then, there was no differentiation between Down syndrome and other intellectual disability. We were really shocked to know about this, and we didn't have any clue as to how we would go, how would be our future, how would we cope with our son with the special needs. That time, my gynecologist, because this was just diagnosed within 24 hours, the doctors knew. It was just to be confirmed by karyotype report. It was very early when we came to know about it. The gynecologist said, it is a problem, but it is not a disaster. But I still remember a pediatrician who had practiced in UK, and I happened to meet him in Ahmedabad. That time he had mentioned that in UK it is said that of all the disabilities, Down syndrome is a blessing. These children are lovable and also trainable. That these children are not educationable. They couldn't cope up with the academic curriculum. But as time passed, a few years after Om started growing, I could observe and I could notice certain changes in the society. Though the young kids resemble each other, they have similar features, they look alike when they are young. But each is different from the other, just like us. And there was a misconception then that they could speak only one language, which was proved wrong by my son. He spoke Marathi as it was his mother tongue. He learned Gujarati as it was a regional language, and he would hear it around. Similarly, Hindi also he learned because it was spoken around. And he was very fond of Hindi films and songs. Even he had Hindi and English as languages in his curriculum. I lacked patience when I was a young mother. But God gifted me with my son, Om, who taught me to keep patience and perseverance. He learned everything, but at his pace. He just tried my patience to a limit certain times. But he had advantage to have an elder sister from whom, knowingly or unknowingly, he learned many things. He is very social, full of love and enthusiasm. He can add a streak of joy and positivity to his environment. He is adaptable and can adjust among people who value and care for him. He travels independently on daily basis at his workplace, and has he can solve problems, routine lifestyle problems. He can solve on his own if need arises. He is very meticulous in his work if he is trained. He could be independent because he wished to be, and cooperates in all possible ways. He is in touch with his friends, relatives, cousins, with his favorite app, the WhatsApp. He is also into sports. He practices table tennis regularly and plays at the national level Special Olympics. He loves to follow routine. Wakes up in the morning, meditates along with me. We both meditate together. Then he practices yoga, then does all the work allotted to him and leaves for his job. Usually, now in the pandemic, he is at home. Since the last 5 to 6 years, there's a lot of work going on for the kids with Down syndrome. The younger parents are really fortunate to have a social media platform to share or discuss their problems, their issues. When I look back, we have had hard times to locate help in this field. There were no legal compulsions for schools to give admission to kids with special needs. No one was ready to admit these children. When my son was 2 years old, we were advised by the occupational therapist to admit him in a normal playgroup. It was very difficult at that time. No one would entertain you with special kids. I still remember there was a small school which had only standards till 4. It was a primary school. But there too, they refused to take him. They didn't even see him. I had only gone to inquire there. They refused giving him admission on the pretext that the parents would object. But then there was one lady with utmost gratitude. I would like to mention her name over here. She was Ela Sheth, who was running a private play school. She, without any hesitation, she took him under her wings, taught him with love. She didn't care about parents of other kids. And because of her approach, the other parents also accepted him, at least on face, I would say. But such small steps do make a lot of difference in the life of the kid, and more so for the parents, because the parents get more hurt when they are refused anything for their children with special needs, because it is like a punishment to them. So this Ela was his first guru, and I'm still in touch with her whenever Om achieves something, and something which would be worthy to mention. I'm in still contact with her. We as parents accepted him full-heartedly. It was equal for his sister, equal to his sister. Everything was equal for him and his sister in all types of activities, maybe discipline, behavior, anything. They were nothing special for him as such. Both were equally treated, and that imbibed that both of them were equally special and precious to us. It instilled more love in both of them. There was never sibling rivalry. That certainly influenced his growth and mental makeup. For the past 4 years, he has been working with Dr. Darshana Thakkar, who is a gynecologist by profession and runs an NGO in the name of Sparsh Foundation. He is under the banner of Sparsh Foundation. He is employed under the banner of Sparsh Foundation. He is treated with love and respect at his workplace. And that has boosted up his self-confidence to a higher level. And I would thank Dr. Darshana, who have taken a step forward towards awareness of Down syndrome in the society. I'm really proud of Om and truly feel blessed to be his mother. Because of him, I could walk the road less traveled. Times are changing for good. Now we have our groups. Thanks to Dr. Vaishali and Dr. Neena, who have taken up this mission in Gujarat, giving selfless service and their valuable time to all the children. During the lockdown also, we had many activities and competitions virtually, but they both spent so much of time for that and just to keep the children busy and happy. All the children were so very happy. Even now also we have many activities and they meet each other virtually, but they are very happy to meet each other because they are actually very social. At the national level, Down Syndrome Federation of India is working hard for the rights and demands of these children and adults. So now I would conclude by saying that the young kids with Down syndrome are really blessed and they will have a very nice future, provided the society welcomes them with open arms. And I would appeal to each and everyone in the society to treat any person with special needs with compassion and a positive attitude. That's all I would like to say. And I really feel blessed to be a mother of such a child. It is a blessing in disguise, I would say.
Very true, Maji. And I'm sure I've met Om at the healthcare, the Sparsh Foundation Health Center, which is there in Gulbai Tekra. And I completely, yes, I have met him there, and I completely agree with each and every. इसे ना आपने जितनी तारीफें की अपने बच्चे के बारे में, एक वाकई में तारीफें काबिल है. And with this, I would really like to share with all the people around. एक चीज जो मैंने पहले पढ़ी थी कि मुझे ये टीचर ने कहा कि मुझे ये चीज नहीं आती है, मैं ऐसा नहीं कर पाऊंगा. उसने उस टीचर ने जाके मेरी मम्मी को जाके बोल दिया. मुझे बोला होता तब तक तो ठीक था, अगर उसने मेरी मम्मी को जाके बोल दिया, मेरी मम्मी ने एक ही काम किया, उसने टीचर बदल दी and everything was fixed. Was fixed. And I'm sure you're such a wonderful mom, just like me.
Thank you.
And that's where I talk about, and there's such a wonderful thing which I always feel, and I would like to tell the society, that when you're judging someone based on diagnosis, you miss out on their abilities, beauty, and uniqueness. And I think...
And these, I would like to interrupt. These Down syndromes have typical features. They can be differentiated anywhere. So people go on looking. I'm so very proud to see at him, because many a times when we went to Kankriya, he was clicking pictures and all were looking at him. Because of his face, he was differentiated. And all were looking excited. What is he doing? Means they were appreciating actually, not really.
They would, because Om has such a really contagious smile. How can someone not miss looking at him and not miss him around? I mean, I'm sure they would immediately, it's like such a wonderful smile, people will always observe him. So on that note, we have with us Poonam Ji Kaushik. And Poonam Ji runs in this NGO whom I talked about, We Shall Win Foundation. I like the way the logo is also designed. And it talks about we shall win when it comes to, it's like wanting to talk about Down syndrome at the level of talukas and district, because it's not only about the cities which have children and adult with Down syndrome. Again, I'm going to point out, never use the word suffering with Down syndrome. It's not an illness. Down syndrome is a blessing, and it is a genetical disorder. It's a chromosomal. It happens at the time of before fertilization, at the time of gamete formation, at the time of egg and sperm formation, where the 23rd chromosome are unable to separate, and they are there together as a pair, and they enter into the egg or the sperm as a pair. And when the egg and the sperm fertilizes, instead of 221 chromosome. We have now 2 plus 1, 321 chromosome. So it's a genetical chromosomal
Condition.
thing. So again, when it comes to people with Down syndrome, very nicely Poonam wants to ensure that it reaches to the, and very nicely when Neena ji also said, it's about the villages also which needs to be which needs to understand this. So first, moving from urban to semi-urban to rural area, this is one of the important topic which needs to be discussed very openly. So we have with us today Poonam ji, who will be talking about the role of NGO. And my question to you, Poonam, is as an NGO, what role you are playing with Vishwalin Foundation for the upliftment of this community? And do you have any major challenges? We'll cover later on major challenges, but would like to know how are you included? I mean, how did you, first is why Vishwalin Foundation? We Shall Win Foundation. My question to you is why We Shall Win Foundation? And how did you get connected with this topic of Down syndrome? You know?
Yes. First of all, namaste to all my viewers. Thank you very much, Gitika, for providing me this platform. I'm among such distinguished guests today, Dr. Neena, Dr. Vaishali, and Uma ma'am, that I think my initiative or my participation is very minuscule, because the kind of patience and the time that all those people have given to this fraternity is amazing. And I get inspired every day while I work with them. Gitika, by addressing your first question, why We Shall Win Foundation, I will just like to take you through a little journey and why we found We Shall Win Foundation. We Shall Win Foundation was set up only 1 year ago in January 2019. And it has been named in the memory of my brother-in-law, Vishal, who passed away at the age of 39 years in a road accident. And he was a darling to our family and very close to my heart. He was such a lively person that he always wanted to live for others, always wanted that everybody around him is happy and content. So while we lost him, nobody could fill up that space for us. And living true to his name, we always wanted to spread this happiness, and we always wanted to spread a message that live your life and love your life. This is the reason why We Shall Win Foundation was conceptualized in 2019, so that his name always lives with us. As you know, my foundation, as it is named, is Vishal. It was his name, Vishal, and that is why we call it as We Shall Win Foundation. So this is a little journey. How I got in touch with this beautiful community is a big thanks to a lot of reasons that I got here. The first reason is that in my workplace, I am the owner of a biopharmaceutical company who is hand-holding We Shall Win Foundation completely at the moment. Meteoric Biopharmaceuticals is my company, and which is a CSR partner of We Shall Win Foundation. And We Shall Win Foundation, my past colleague had a son and who was diagnosed with Down syndrome around 5 years ago. And he came to me and he was completely lost. And he asked me that, ma'am, I don't know what is this and I don't know what to do. And neither I was aware that what should be done. So one of my friend who's a lifestyle consultant with Vinay Lal Kaka at that time, I asked her and she referred me to Sparsh Foundation. And she asked me that, why don't you guide your colleague to go to Sparsh Foundation and take an advice. So this is how I advised him to go to Sparsh Foundation. And I listened to his journey day in and day out. It was so much of a struggle. There were so many questions unanswered. There was always a question mark. There was always a question, मैं मेरे बच्चे को regular school में डालूँ या special school में डालूँ, whether the society would accept my child. Shall we have another child? अगर दूसरा बच्चा हुआ तो उसे भी Down syndrome होगा. He was always struggling with these questions. This topic had always been close to my heart, and I always thought that whenever I get a chance to start a social enterprise, I will always address this matter. I will always try and go to the roots of what Down syndrome is, how is it affecting, and While I knew that my colleague was from a lower middle class family, I would always wonder that what happens to the economically weaker section. And it was always my dream to work for that community, because it would be very difficult for them to approach, very difficult for them to understand what's wrong with my child. So as an NGO, when we started in 2019, I took an initiative to find out as to how I can learn more about Down syndrome and how I can get associated with the community and how we can be helpful. So First Moms Club, which is one of our community partners today, I wrote a small message on First Moms Club group that any mothers who want to share their experiences with me and certain challenges which they might want to share with me, and as an NGO we can address, then please come forward. So one of the mother, she came forward and she connected me to Dr. Vaishali. And this is how my journey with DSWC began. Dr. Vaishali, when I met her first around 8 months ago, it was such a wonderful, wonderful meeting. We met for the first time in Rajpath Club, and I had so much to learn from her. She had a long story to tell me, and she told me everything about what they did for the community, the parents, the children. And my question to her was, ma'am, can I be a part of your world and anywhere where we as an NGO can step in? She guided me through. And then she made me meet Dr. Nina in one of the picnics that we arranged for our dear children. And this was my first time that I met around 50 children during the picnic, and I met Dr. Nina for the first time. There was no looking back after that. And there we decided that there is going to be there are such long list of things that we can do together as an NGO and DSWC together. But coming back to why I conceptualized and what is the reason that I started this NGO and also focused on DSWC after my learnings with DSWC, Dr. Nina and Dr. Vaishali, Dr. Krati, everyone. I always wanted that as a community, as an NGO, we need to connect the dots. There is a lot of huge infrastructure that the government has built, that the NGOs or charitable organizations have built for us, but we have not enough knowledge that how we can collate all that infrastructure and take the best advantage of the existing infrastructure. At one point in time, I thought that why don't I come up to set up a center where we can give all these trainings, all these therapies, everything under one roof. But we realized that there has been work which has already been done. There is so much work that many organizations have did, but it has not reached the people who really need it. So we thought that why not we connect these dots, and we will get all these platforms one area, one place, and connect the users and the service providers together. So all the users, all the people who need this kind of support, they might need physiotherapy, they might need they might need vocational training, occupational training, whatever support and infrastructure they require, we would connect the dots and we will try to give it to them on their doorsteps. So the government primary health centers, the urban health centers which the government has created, can be one of a very major infrastructure that can reach to these children at every level. Even at the economically weaker section levels, these children can be reached, and through primary health centers and urban health centers, we can provide a lot of support to them. Taking advantage of government policies and initiatives like Sugamya Bharat, we haven't yet explored what Sugamya Bharat is offering. If we explore what Sugamya Bharat is offering and we take it to the community, the children, the parents, I think there will be a lot which can be given to the society rather than inventing it altogether. I would also like to put forward that in my journey with We Shall Win, I also came across to Shri Satya Sai Heart Foundation, one foundation which is very close to my heart. They provide free heart surgeries to children who are from economically weaker section. their campus here in Ahmedabad is providing completely free of cost service. In fact, they do not have any billing center in their hospital, and they have the best heart surgeons around, and they do the heart surgeries. And it is very important for parents parents who have children with Down syndrome to know this, because this service is provided free of cost, and there are a lot of congenital heart diseases issues with children with Down syndrome when they are born. So Sri Satya Sai Heart Foundation is one where we can always tell these parents to go there and take a treatment whenever it is important. To connect a lot of physiotherapy centers who probably are not aware that if there are children in the vicinity, they can come to their centers, and there are specialized physiotherapy teachers who can give this support. Special need institutes and charitable organizations who are already working in this area, and they can provide all the more support if they know that we all are coming together at one platform, and then giving these facilities and services. Also, I would like to point out, like Uma ma'am said, that we need to also sensitize the schools, the educational institutions, to open their arms for these children. It is very, very important that we start at that point in society while we talk about the inclusive approach. None of the parents should feel that, oh, why my child cannot go to a special school, or why should my child should go only to a special school and not a normal school. So it's a huge debatable topic, but we need to hear the parents as well as the educational institutes out to find a solution. So this is what we as an NGO intend to do. We are also trying to reach out to the government to give us an accurate data. While as an NGO, we were trying to find out the data of economically weaker sections who might need our support, we were not able to find this data anywhere in the system. We had done many RTI applications, and it was to and fro. But ultimately, the data could not reach to us. And we tried to find it out in many other ways that we could. And we got hold of a very, very small data, which might help us, take a little step forward. But a database will be very, very important. The statistics about Down syndrome on the internet are very old. Down Syndrome Federation of India has been updating these numbers quite often. But we really require statistics to analyze whether we are improving or we are not improving. So this is very important, and this is what, as an NGO, we would try to put forward. We would try to collate everything, and we would try to have an inclusive environment for these children, which start from their home. We talked about inclusiveness, and here I would like to tell you all a little story that I read a few months ago while I was on First Moms Club page. One of the mother wrote a story about her child, and it was heart-wrenching for me to go through that story. And there I found that there's a huge requirement of going inclusive and teaching our children, as well as teaching the parents, that the inclusive approach is very important. So this mother wrote that her child is a very quiet child, and he would always, go to a balcony and watch the other kid playing in the next door. And that is the happiest hour that the child spends, while he sees the other child playing in the balcony. So one day the other child had a birthday party, and everyone was dressed up. So he also went and got himself dressed up, and he did not go to the other person's house, but he was standing in the balcony and just watching the party happen. And he was feeling very happy about it. So the mother was watching from behind, and gradually this birthday party children had a conversation that, why did not you invite your neighbor? So the child whose birthday it was said that, no, he's mad. We cannot invite him. So the parent, I could only feel the emotion of the parent, and the way she had put it down, that why my child is not accepted, why as a society we are not able to answer such questions. And I would not blame the child who said this, because this is where she heard something about, this came to her while she was listening to maybe a parent or an elder. So like Dr. Neena once told me, and she gave me an entire write-up about inclusive approach. Her write-up is so important, where she told me that, Poonam, the first thing, the inclusive circle starts with family members. First of all, the family members should be adaptive and inclusive. Then we can go to the friends, the maid, the neighborhood, and then we can go to the school, the parks, the city. And it is such a wonderful article. Whenever ma'am will write in detail about this inclusive article, it will be great for every one of us to understand. But yes, I wanted to play a part. I will always play a part as an NGO to promote this inclusive approach that these children definitely need. And I have started it from my home. My 9-year-old daughter, I have always taught her. She was with me in the picnic. And I told her that they are your friends. And I think they are your best friends. She always sees me working, even during lockdown, while we were working with Down syndrome welfare clubs, lockdown talent contests. She was equally excited to see the videos every day. So I have done my bit, and I have tried that I create an environment at my home where my child gives respect to each of this child and the parent. I would just sum up and say, Gitika, and all our children, all my viewers here, that there is a very beautiful saying in Hindi: "Manzil milegi bhatak kar hi sahi, manzil milegi bhatak kar hi sahi, gumrah to wo hai jo ghar se nikle hi nahi." So हम घर से निकल चुके हैं, and I think हम सब मिलकर एक बहुत ही beautiful society बना सकते हैं. But we have to start somewhere, and I'm glad that Dr. Neena, Dr. Vaishali, Uma Man have reposed their faith in me to walk with them and give an inclusive society to all these beautiful children. So thank you very much, Gitika. Thank you very much, Karma Foundation, and all the viewers to listen to us so patiently. And I hope we get an opportunity to interact very soon in future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Poonam. So nicely you have shared not only about your thought process behind We Shall Win Foundation. Vishal has won now. I'm sure he's proud of you, doing such a wonderful job in his name. And when it comes to inclusive society, everyone actually accepts that, yes, they agree that there should be an inclusive society, but they don't really understand what inclusiveness means. And I'm sure it starts from home, home. School education comes later on. It starts from home, the teaching of empathy, the teaching of compassion, celebrating with each and everyone, the respect towards diversity. Needs to be understood right from home. I think our over-ambitious, our competitive society that we are moving towards has lost these values. But as I understand, as a parent, it is our duty, the way you have explained to your kids, and the same thing which my son is 22 now, but Kush very clearly talks about even when he was young in the school, he always said, Mama, I look at the strength of the child. I don't look at the weakness of the child, because his strength is my weakness, and I'm sure I will have to look forward for him when I want to use his strength. So better to make friends with different strength rather than being in the same ghetto. So I've learned that from him, and the way Dr. Neena said so nicely that these not only about students about Down syndrome, it is about each and every child learns from their observation. It's an observational learning. They learn from their surrounding, and whatever we giving to our surrounding should be our concern as a parent first, forget about the society later on. And as a family, what we are discussing, what we are talking, and that is very important aspect. And with this, I would like to say that yes, one of the comment talks about बेहद महत्वपूर्ण जानकारी और अनुभव आप साझा कर रही है मैम. निश्चित रूप से बच्चों के अभिभावक को लाभ मिलेगा. बिल्कुल समाज में ऐसे बच्चों को आम बच्चों की तरह स्वीकार करने की आवश्यकता है. When such kind of things come, I'm sure we'll be discussing on those aspects, Neena ji.
Yes.
Who is normal?
Yeah, that's a very good question.
Who is normal is a question.
No, there is a saying that nobody is perfect. Same way, nobody is normal. Because I can't read. I can't read.
आम बच्चों की तरह या normal बच्चों की तरह उन्हें accept करना पड़ेगा. My question is, who is normal?
Yeah, nobody is normal because I can't read without my specs. So I am not normal.
True.
So yeah, so nobody is normal. And Gitika, I wanted to tell you one thing. when you asked about why inclusive society, and I mentioned that it takes a village to raise a child, I meant कि एक बच्चे को बड़ा करने के लिए पूरा गांव चाहिए. तो ये बच्चे माने चिल्ड्रन विद डाउन सिंड्रोम को बड़ा करने के लिए तो आप सब लोग चाहिए ही चाहिए, पूरी सोसाइटी लगती है. That's what I meant while saying that.
So true.
And yes, inclusive home, inclusiveness starts from home. So the parents need to remove the special word from their mind and form the homes inclusive. So each and every home should be inclusive.
So true, because मुझे कई बार ये सवाल बार बार आता है जब लोग ऐसे बातें करते हैं, ऐसे हमें क्या हक बनता है किसी और को जज करने का? क्या हम अपने आप के रूप में परफेक्ट है? जब हम परफेक्ट नहीं है तो हम किसी और को जज कर ही नहीं सकते, चाहे फिर वो ऑटिज्म हो या डाउन सिंड्रोम हो या कोई और फिजिकल चैलेंजेस हो या कोई और इंटेलेक्चुअल डिसेबिलिटीज. Who says I have 100% IQ? No one. So these things are, I think, individual. Each and every person's success is the way they live their life, the way they smile in their life, the way they are happy as a family and as an individual. So with this, we have wonderful comments and from in the Facebook also. Thank you, Kiran, for appreciating this as an outstanding initiative. And thank you so much. Any specific questions? If I don't see any specific question in the comment section of the Facebook page. But yes, today we have started a good discussion, and I think we have to take it forward. And thank you, Poonam, for doing such a wonderful job. And Neena ji, I could see that cool and calmness in you. I'm sure this cool and calmness becomes contagious to the parents who come to you. And it is very important, Uma ji, that in the year that is we're talking about Om being 30 years old, that is he was born in 1990. I'm sure looking at you, you are really emotionally very matured mother. And it's not only about Om, but you are inspiration to many, many mothers around. Whether when it comes to accepting the child, you very nicely mentioned that they might not be good in studies. It's okay. Everyone doesn't need to be good in studies. Everyone has their role to play in this world and a purpose to live. And if they live to the purpose, I think the life is well served. Dr. Vaishali ji, thank you so much for introducing this Down Syndrome Welfare Club, wherein such a wonderful community gets together. Today I spent a good time looking at the Facebook page of Down Syndrome Welfare Club. Thank you, Karma Foundation. Thank you, Lassi Talk. Thank you, all our supporting partners, starting from Elixir Foundation, Multitasking Mommies, Womenology, V-Empower. These are all Womenology, Multitasking Mommy, V-Empower, Rotary Club of Asmita, all women-led organizations, and the future is women-led world. And thank you so much here, Biting Balls, Tuli and Satyen, to be so actively contributing. So for contributing into it, I think someone is all right. Thank you so much. And with this note, we had wonderful 1 hour 17 minutes spent. We started on time, and as I realized, you all are good talkers. And I'm sure it's a good platform where we all have come together. And please let us know. You can connect to Vishwalin Foundation. You can connect to Down Syndrome Welfare Club in case if you need any support. You can connect with me. I can connect you further with these people who are doing such a wonderful job. And this is the Strength Series Part 2 along with Karma and Lassi Talk. Thank you so much for being on this platform today. And I had a wonderful time. Sleep well and have a nice weekend.
Thank you, Gitika.
Thank you
for having us.
Thank you very much.